One of the most frequent questions we get from soap makers who are looking to start a business and soap makers who don't even know that they want a business yet is this: how do I price my soaps? If you have never priced products before, this can seem very nebulous, but it doesn't have to be. And there's actually a pretty straightforward equation you can follow to get your products priced accurately. So grab your coffee and let's talk about pricing your soaps and other products. The first information we need to get is, what are you paying for your ingredients? This needs to be per ounce. Now, if you have something that you bought, you paid $5 and you bought 2 ounces of it, that's pretty simple. You just divide that 5 by 2 and you spent $2.50 an ounce on it. But it's probably going to be a little bit more mathy than that. Let's use this example, and it's most helpful to figure each one of these items out per ounce, because then that translates into your soap making recipe most simply. So let's use this example here. I'm bringing up a calculator so that I don't get any of us confused here. So one of the things that we use in soap making is we use coconut oil. And I happen to know that coconut oil is $28.56 per gallon. Now, how many ounces is that? This is where you have to reach back into your elementary math lessons where they had you memorize all those ounce things, or you can just look on the gallon container. Oftentimes they have the fluid ounces there as well. But I know that this is a gallon is 128 ounces of coconut oil in this case. So we're going to take that number and we're going to divide it by 128. And that shows me that my coconut oil is 22 cents an ounce. Now, how is that helpful? Sure, I know how much it is per ounce. Now, how many ounces do you put in your typical recipe? Let's say mine is 11.4. So I'm going to take 22 cents times 11.4, and I will know that for each soap batch that I'm making, I have $2.51 invested in the coconut oil for that soap batch. Now you need to do that same math for every ingredient in your soap. If you have a very simple soap, this won't take you very long. But if you have one of the more intricate, more detail-y soaps, this could take a moment. So if you want to, just pause the video and go do a little bit of research. Where's your soap recipe? How much are you paying for each of these ingredients? And how much money is invested in each ingredient for your soap batch? Don't forget your fragrance and your colorants. We need to count those as well. So take a moment and go figure that out. Take it per ounce. For colorant, you might need to go like per teaspoon or some, you might need to use some other math, but figure it out per ounce and then take it times however many ounces of that item you have in your soap recipe. And this will give you the total dollars for the ingredients in each of your soap batches. I'm going to assume you paused for a moment. And if not, you can go back and do that later on. But the other things that you need to factor into the price of what it costs you to make each of your soaps is all the other incidental things that factor in there. If you have labels on your soap, those cost something, so be sure to factor that into this number. Anything you use that's disposable that you use to create this soap. If you line your mold with freezer paper, that has a cost. If you're using disposable cups to mix your colorants, that has a cost. So just factor, and it's not a huge cost, but factor a little bit in for all those other incidental disposable items. Gosh, even like what you use to clean up after you make your soap batch. All of that impacts the cost of running this business a little bit. So to take a little bit, factor that into the number you have for what it's costing you to make these soaps. One other thing that we need to think about here is your time. And I know this is a little bit of a touchy subject when we're talking to people who are just getting started in soap making, because they'll say, well, I just like making it for the fun of it. I don't need to be paid to do this. But the reality there is, if life gets busy, and you are not being paid to do this, you'll just give it up because it's not benefiting you in any way. And now all these people who are purchasing from you lose their soap supplier. It happens all the time. People come to us all the time and say, yeah, she quit making soap, so now I'm looking again to get a high quality thing. So you need to be reimbursed for your time. We're going to talk about this more in just a second. But think about, if your thought is, well, I don't know what I would pay myself. Think then about what would you pay someone else to do this for you. I'll give you a little math that's current right now, and later on we may have to revise this as the economy changes and stuff. But I figure that someone else could easily make a batch of soap for me in an hour. Actually, after they get good at it, I think they could do it in less than an hour. But we'll just use that for nice round numbers. A batch of soap for us, like one mold has 16 bars. I figure I would pay them roughly $16 an hour. So that means I need to factor $1 into the price of my soap for every bar to compensate for the labor costs for producing that soap. So don't forget about that. Also, if you have a product that needs a container, like lotion that needs a bottle, if you're using pump bottles, get the tops on there. And we're talking about anything that you need, like to present this product to the world. Soaps need labels. Lotion needs a bottle. There's all kinds of stuff there. So, and also not forgetting your time. So take a moment now and do this for one of your products. Total up the cost of that product. And then later on, you can repeat this process for any other products you have in your business to help you figure out how we're going to price this thing. Now we're going to run your total cost for one of your products. We're going to run that number through our pricing equation. It's not a difficult equation. You're going to take that number times 4. Why? Why times 4? Isn't that being greedy? It only cost me $3 to make this soap. You mean I need to charge $12 for this soap? Yes, I do. Absolutely. And why is that? Because there are other expenses that you are going to incur in your business. If you are selling enough soap, and that should happen eventually it's going to impact your income tax picture, and you're going to need to pay income tax on this money that you are making. You're going to have fees to go to a craft show. They don't let you come in for free generally. A good show doesn't anyway. And you're going to need to pay those fees. So you have other expenses in your business. You might need to purchase tablecloths or, something else to help display your soaps at the show. That's an expense. You might decide that you need to purchase some equipment. Maybe you're heating your oils on the stove and that's way too hard to keep track of, and you're going to purchase instead programmable warmers that you can have, one for your coconut oil, one for your palm. You can set them at exactly what temperature you want them to be, and they just hold it for you. So then you can just keep making soap instead of having to monkey with temperatures. Maybe you need to purchase something like that. There's going to be fees if you have a website, if you have email services, and just other business expenses like that. Just producing the product is not the total picture of your business, and you need to make sure that you set your prices at a spot where it can handle all of these other fees when you start to expand, when you are maybe advertising your soaps a bit, when you are putting them on a website, when you're sending emails to people to say, hey, I have a new soap available, take a look. All of those have cost, and you need to price your products to cover that. So taking your cost number times 4 factors in all of these things and makes sure that you are being compensated adequately for the product that you are putting out into the world, and that your business is going to have enough income to handle all of these other things as well. I want to reiterate one more time the importance of you being paid in your business. This is starting to peek the door on the money side of your business. This is a tricky thing that you don't hear it talked about in a lot of places, but it is very important that you price your products so that you personally are being paid. I know for me, one of the key things that I enjoy about my business is I love making the soap, But I also know that the people who purchase from me, they are benefiting directly from the quality, from the goat milk, from, if they have skin issues, they're fighting this way. They are benefiting from that. And they are now counting on me to continue to produce product for them that's going to help them with whatever their issue is. Even if it's just finding a great quality natural soap made from a local person. And if I don't charge enough for my products that my business cannot survive, then I haven't served anyone. I haven't served them well. I most certainly haven't served myself well. So make sure that you are charging enough for your products that you are personally benefiting from this, so that when life gets busy, the business isn't the first thing you throw to the side and do the other things that are more important. You want it to be beneficial to you enough that your business is going to stay in business. Having accurate pricing in your business is the first step down the path of managing the money in your business. And this is a key topic for successful business owners, is having a good strategy for pricing your products and then handling the money that comes in from that. However, handling money in your business is not a topic that's discussed in many places. You need a plan for managing your money in a way in your business that helps you make decisions going forward in your business. It's easy to keep records and see what you did, but having a plan for actually going forward and a plan that will help you make decisions looking forward, that is absolutely key. You can own a business, but a business can also own you, and making sure that you have these pieces in place is very critical. This is one of the topics that we deal with on a deeper level inside our business course, Business for Soap Makers. It's called Build Your Business. This is coming in one of the business bundles that I've been talking about in this series. And if you are interested in having us walk alongside you and help you get your business up and running, and not just as fast as possible and as bare bones as possible, but also understanding some different topics like how to handle the money in your business, we would love to do that. Our business bundles are coming really soon. Make sure that you have joined our business tips email list. The link is in the description of this video, so that when those are ready, you are notified and you can jump in and take a look at our different tiers of our business bundles and decide which one would serve you best as you are building your own business. If you are wanting to start a soap business, what questions do you have? Comment those under this video and we will do our best to get you an answer. You might even find that we do a whole video just answering your question. In our next video, we're going to talk about what does it cost to start a soap business. We're going to talk about how you can tackle this soap business idea in a way that isn't going to sink your financial ship. I'll see you there.